How I started my business with $0, no niche, no website, no logo, and I still got paid. And you can too.
They reached out to me and I had less than 500 followers. Like I was freaking out, and you can do this too today.
So everyone says, just start. But what does that mean when you're broke, unsure of what to do next, and you're trying not to embarrass yourself? 5 years ago, I started with no niche, no logo, no website, no pretty aesthetics, and I still got paid. Here's the full story and what I would do differently if I were to start today.
A little context. I did not grow up around entrepreneurs or business owners. I just knew I did not want to have to beg my boss for vacation to see my mom once a year, and I did not want to feel guilty for resting or exploring the world and traveling. I didn't have a business degree. I did not have a marketing degree. And I did not know what to offer either, but I knew how to help people. And I am certain you know how to help people in some shape or form too. And because this was a dream of mine to have a business since 2012, I just knew I could not chicken out anymore. I could not wait for things to be perfect to start. I had already waited for 8 years. I started in 2020, in January 2020, and this was a dream of mine since 2012. I had chickened out for way too long, and I just knew I had to take imperfect action. So this is how I started, and this is how you can start too and get paid. But here's a disclaimer. It's going to sound very simple. And you know what happens when things are so simple? We undervalue them. We think, oh, but it can't be that simple. Yes, it is. And I'm here to tell you that all businesses that you use today, Nike, Apple, you name it, they all started this way. And I'm about to explain to you what those steps are. Number one, I made a list of the things I could offer. Those were things that people either asked my help for, or I knew I was good at offering, or I had gotten paid for in the past. Now, if you're lucky enough to know exactly how you can help people, for example, you love fitness and you know that you want to help people lose weight, let's say, for example, then you don't need to do this. I mean, you could follow this step, but for those of you who are not certain of what it is that you can offer, what it is that you can help people with, then don't skip this step. Step number one is to list the things that you can help people with. Those are things that you have gotten paid for in the past. If, for example, like this could be adjacent to your job today, or if you hate your job, then don't do that. For example, I was a national sales manager. I loved developing people. I loved coaching people. I was coaching people for a living, and I was managing the operations of my sales department for a living. So everything in the back end, from the strategy to get sales, from systems, all the operational stuff that it takes to run a department, which is a miniature of a business, I was already doing. So helping people build a business today is an extension to what I used to do before. It's not that different. It's just I have translated it from the physical world to the online world. Now, I was lucky to have that skill set and to love doing that job. This might not be the case for you, but I want you to know that I didn't start this way. I started with offering leadership coaching. My first service was helping individual contributors, people who had a position in whatever job they were, but they wanted to lead people. They wanted to become a manager. They wanted to become a supervisor. They wanted to become a team lead. I was helping them learn how to become a leader. So that was like my first services that I was offering. I wasn't even thinking of being a business consultant, a business coach, or offering social media service. I wasn't there. Like now I'm confident enough to do that, but not at the beginning, right? So at the beginning, I had so many different ideas. I wanted to offer life coaching, but I was feeling icky around the word life coach. I was thinking, like, who am I to offer life coaching? I wanted to offer leadership workshops. I wanted to do so many things, but this is like the first step. The first step, you have to list all the things, all the possibilities, essentially get them out of your head. It could be ideas, it could be services that you are really passionate about offering. It could be things that you're good at, but you don't love. It could be things you love, but you don't know how to offer them, how to monetize them. So list all those things down. Just get them out of your system so you can visually see all the options, all the available services that you could offer to people. That's very, very important. Make sure you list everything down. Step number two. Okay. This is the most crucial step. And this is the step that most starting entrepreneurs fail at. And this is, if you don't do this right, you are not going to get paid. Listen to me. If you don't do this right, you're not going to get paid. You're going to continue to be stuck. You're going to continue going into circles. You need to get this step done. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Pay attention. Step number 2, and most important step, you need to choose one thing you can help people with. Choose one thing. And it sounds simple, but it's actually not that simple. This is where most people get stuck. Why? Because the possibilities are endless. Because you feel icky just putting your name under just one service. You feel that one thing does not fully represent who I am, my strengths, my abilities, my ideas. That is okay. That is okay. I need to tell you right now that the answers and the full brand of who you are will not come at the very beginning. Your business is an ever evolving organism. It is a living, breathing organism. It's not a static thing. It's not like a pen. You create the pen and then it's done. You can't modify it. Your business, it's like water in this water bottle. Like it can be molded, it can be shaped, it can take different shapes and forms. It continues to evolve the way you evolve. Okay. So this step number 2, which is a decision to pick one thing that you help people with and stick to it for the very beginning, at least, it is extremely important because this is where your ego will play games with you. This is where your ego will try to convince you that, oh, I'm not really good at it, or it doesn't fully represent all my strengths, or I don't have a website, or, but like, look at how many better businesses are out there who are offering the very thing I'm offering with more aesthetically pleasing websites or logo, and they do so much more. How can I compete? You can't compete. If there is demand on something, that means there are customers for that thing. Okay. We're going to worry about how to get you paid and why people should choose you after. This step is very crucial. Like I said, do not skip it. Make a decision and make it fast and digest the fact that it's not going to be perfect at the very beginning and it's not going to fully represent who you are, and you need to be okay with it. You cannot let your ego win because you're not going to get paid. Your ego wants you to have everything perfect because it does not like discomfort. It wants to make sure you survive, and discomfort and the unknown is dangerous. So your ego is trying to avoid that danger. That danger right now, jumping into the unknown, which is speaking something that is not fully baked yet to offer to the world, is actually the beginning of your success. The best things in life are on the other side of fear and uncertainty. Okay. Hopefully I convince you. I'm going to keep going. All right. Step number 3. The step you get paid. Step number 3, I made a list of people I could help and I send them voice notes and messages. I know it is scary. Could feel extremely scary reaching out to people that you already know and feeling icky. You're like, but I don't want them to know. They're going to judge me. That's okay. Some people might judge you, but most people actually admire those who have the courage to put themselves out there. Even people in your circle that you think will judge you will surprise you. A lot of them would admire you, seeing you do something that they themselves may have wanted to do to put themselves out there. So, step number 3, you might think, but no, I need to have a website. I need to have a following. I need to sell to people I don't know. It doesn't start that way. It doesn't work this way. Yeah, it can work this way, but it takes longer to build a following that actually trusts you, a following that believes in you and they want to buy from you. These are sales statistics. I was a sales manager. So if you want to hear my advice, go for it. If you don't, feel free to ignore me. It takes at least between 7 to 14 touch points for people to buy from you. That applies to businesses, that applies to business online, that applies to retail. So that is why content creation and having a website and all those things, like, it is a long game. The faster way to get you paid, which is the purpose of this whole video, is to go directly to the source. And that requires a message, that requires a voice note, that requires an email. Okay. And at the very beginning, because you don't have a network, you don't have potential clients, you don't have leads, your best network is the people on your cell phone, the people on your social media, people they know, and so on and so forth. It feels icky. That is because you have associated sales with icky, but sales is actually a way to serve people. This is another video on how to overcome your ickiness around sales. And it doesn't have to be icky. I'm going to give you a template on how to reach out to people and still keep your dignity. The message goes like this: Hi, how's it going? Side note, do not get into the small talk because then it feels icky. It feels like, oh, you tricked them into being nice and then you're offering something. So don't get into small talk for too long. Hey, how's it going? It's been a minute. I have started a new business. I finally started my fitness business. And I remember at some point you had mentioned that you're interested in improving your health. Well, I'm actually offering a muscle strengthening program. I just started and looking to help people. A, are you interested in trying my services in exchange for your honest testimonial? Or B, do you know someone who would be interested in my services? P.S. Thank you for supporting my new initiative and starting this business. I'm feeling super excited. And I just thought I'd reach out to people I know first. That's it. People appreciate honesty. And at the very beginning, you need to also wear with pride the fact that you are starting, the fact that you are a noob. At the very beginning, if you pretend to be something you're not, people will read through you, people will see through that, and actually you will lose potential clients. So the best policy is honesty and wear the fact that you are a startup with pride. Okay, wear it with pride. I didn't build a funnel when I started. I didn't have a logo, I didn't have a website, I didn't have a pretty Instagram. I reached out, I got over my ego. Okay, your ego is holding you back, don't allow it. And I got paid within 2 months. Within 2 months. And I would have gotten paid faster if I was reaching out to people faster. And within the first 6 months, I got my first paid client. She got a 3 month coaching program paid in full. So seeing that money, I remember at the time she paid me like, I think it was like $1,500 in full. Can you imagine my excitement? Can you imagine how I was freaking out? I was like, this is possible. And all I needed to do is to get over myself, is to get over my ego, is to get over my fears and just put myself out there. And it happened. The person who paid me in full in the first 6 months of me starting a business came from Instagram, because by that time I had already created testimonials and reviews from the people in my network that I service for free. You need to service people for free at the very beginning. And they love my stuff so much. And they reached out to me through DMs. They reached out to me and I had less than 500 followers. Like, I was freaking out. And you can do this too today. And they knew that I didn't have a website. They knew I was a startup. And my advantage over people who were doing it for years is that I was cheaper and that I was telling people that I was going to give them my full attention, because I was going to give them my full attention because I had no clients. And that is your advantage at the very beginning. People underestimate how startups also have a competitive advantage compared to their seasoned competitors. Let's say you're a personal trainer and your competitor is your local gym, world gym. Yeah, they can go to the world gym. They have all the equipment 24/7. That is your competition. But if they come with you, they will get personalized training. They're going to get all your attention. You might not have all the full equipment that World Gym has, but they're going to have you in their back pocket as their personal trainer 24/7. And those are the things that you want to also talk about as your unique selling point when you first start. What is your advantage of people doing business with you versus the big guys, right? Anyway, this is a video for another time. If you want more information on this, on how to sell your unique selling point, let me know in the comments and I will create a video for that. So, to recap, what people care about is not cute aesthetics, a pretty website. What people really care about and what people will pay you for is if you can solve a real problem, if you can give a solution to a pain they're willing to give you money for. They care if you understand them. They care if you can solve their pain. They care if you can help them. They do not care about a pretty website or a pretty Instagram. I'm going to keep repeating this until I drill it into your head, because at the very beginning, when you start, there is so much fear and your ego is trying to convince you that everything needs to look and feel perfect, but it doesn't have to be that way. Wear with pride that you are a startup. People will actually admire your courage that you started and you put yourself out there. Okay? Trust me. Trust me on this. Fear has held me back for a very long time. And I still deal with fear till this day that I've been doing this for 5 years. And trust me, like it doesn't fully go away. I've been running my business for 5 years and I come from an operations background. So I'm not new to these concepts. I'm not new to business. I'm new to having and running a business for myself, which is a whole different game, but I'm still dealing with fear. So I'm not going to repeat myself. Step number 2, the most important, pick one thing. Step number 3, put yourself out there to people in your circle because that's all you got right now. Lastly, some word of advice. If you're broke, if you're scared, do not build a business to look good. If you want to look good, building a business is not for you. If you want to look cool, building a business is not for you. It's not going to last. If you want to make money, if you want to change your life, if you want to create a legacy for your family, if you want to create freedom for your family, then yes, build a business. Build one that works. Start with offering results and you can look pretty later. All right. I share more honest advice like this weekly. If you're trying to start a business with $0 and you're into no fluff and no BS talk, and you want to hear from someone who's been doing the thing for some time now, subscribe and stay connected. You would also be supporting me as I am also starting my YouTube journey. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.